Hello, 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 and for the recent webinar, Decrease Your Stress and Reclaim Your Life. I'm so happy you decided to download this webinar and listen to it. I truly think the information that you'll get will be super, super helpful to decreasing your stress and also really reclaiming your life so that you don't have to live a stressed life and you can be stress-free and truly enjoy the things that God has put into your life and the family that you have. So, some of you may know me, some of you may not, but I'd really like to take a little bit of time to let you know who I am and what I do. And again, welcome, and I'm so happy you're here and so happy that you're sitting and listening to the recording. I hope you're in a quiet space where you can truly give this all of your time and your attention. That could be 12 at night, that could be 6 in the morning, that could be on a lunch break. But any time that you can truly devote to yourself would be a great time to listen to this. And the good thing is that this is a recording, so you can listen to it as much as you like, as often as you need. And also contact me if you have any questions or concerns. I'd be more than happy to help. So here on the screen, you'll see two pictures. The one on the left is of me and my wonderful husband, Vino. He's super supportive of everything that I do and just who I am as a person as a whole. And then on the right hand, you'll see my little minions. I lovingly call them my little minions, but my daughter Olivia and Dominic, my son. And they are truly the reason that I do what I do. You know, being able to have the opportunity to be a mom and also just be a mom of twins has really opened my eyes to the stress that moms tend to have in trying to truly balance their needs and the needs of the family, the needs of their children and their husband with who they are as a person, and the struggle of not losing yourself when you build that family and have your children, and being able to be your own person and not be stressed out by the demands on you. So again, welcome, and those are my big reasons why I do what I do and why I want to help women, because I truly want them to be as happy as I am and truly be stress-free so they can enjoy the valuable things in their life and not focus so much on the stress that there is. So my passion is to help women reduce stress, to have a better work-life balance, or even just work-home balance, home-life balance, a better balance in their life, and to truly live stress less and live more, and be able to enjoy the things that you have in your life. And I do this from, a background, of course, as a mother, but then also as a licensed psychotherapist with an education, a BA in psychology and, a master's in counseling and mental health counseling. And then with my experience of having over 10 years experience in mental health, working with both men and women, working with various diagnoses such as anxiety or depression, and sometimes psychosis, but being able to take all those things that I learned and use them for, to help women and mothers who may not be diagnosed at all to truly live stress-free lives. I think coping skills and being able to cope with life, no matter what life may bring you, it's beneficial to have those tools. And I truly think bringing those tools and bringing my experience to mothers can really help their lives. So that's my passion and why I do what I do. And oftentimes when I meet a woman or work with a mother, she looks just like the picture of the woman on the left. She's overwhelmed, she's overworked, sometimes underpaid, and she really just wants to enjoy her life. She wants to be present with what she's doing right now, present to see her kids laugh and smile, present to be affectionate with her husband. She wants to be calm and have a life of ease and comfortableness so she can kind of not necessarily float through life as if she's untouched, but not let the little things or the increased stress get to her. And I also, deal with a woman on the right who just kind of wonders, what do I do now? What do I do next? And where can I go from here? Because you know where you want to be. You know you want to be happy. And everyone's definition of happy may be different. But happy doesn't include being stressed out all the time or wondering or anxious or worried. I want you to move from a worrier to a warrior. and conquer your life and truly be where you want to be, whether it's, on a penthouse in a condo or it's in one of these tiny small houses that are all the rave now. I want you to be where you want to be, but be stress free. So you're in the right place if you've had the looks of these two women, if you've been worried more than you've been happy, if it's a struggle to manage what you have going on in your home and keep your identity. You're in the right place if you have had some tension in your home and there's major tension between your spouse, you and your children, or if you just go to bed at night and you can't necessarily sleep because you're thinking of all that needs to be done, or if you just go to bed worried, wake up worried, and want to be free. So you're in the right place. So what will you discover from this webinar? What's the point of all this, I'll say, and what will you get out of it? Because I definitely don't want you to feel as if you've wasted your time. I want you to truly get something out of this, even if it's just one token that you can take and build upon. So from this webinar, you'll discover what most women fail to do that ultimately increases their stress daily. So what is it that you're not doing that's leading you to more and more stress each day? You'll get some quick stress tips that you can use today, tonight, to combat stress. And then you'll also learn why a proper morning routine can boost your mood and your bottom line. So we're going to learn why a proper morning routine is best and how it can boost your mood and your bottom line. Some of you may or may not be doing morning routines right now. Sometimes your morning routine may just consist of you running down the stairs and getting everyone ready and barely getting a cup of coffee. But I'm going to tell you what to incorporate in your morning routine and why it's super important. And then lastly, the best thing you can do for yourself today to reduce stress and live more. So hopefully that excites you and it's something that you can, get out of this webinar and definitely spend your time discovering and devoting to you and the betterment of you. So, stress, what is it? I'm sure we've all experienced that feeling of stress where we feel like things aren't going right. We may be anxious. We may be agitated. Sometimes with stress, you tend to, close yourself off. Sometimes you become more irritable. This picture right here just shows you the various descriptions of stress and kind of what it causes. It can cause being overweight. It can cause health issues. Sometimes when you're stressed, you overeat. You get annoyed easily. You become into crisis. It can have various emotional and health concerns. It can cause problems with your relationships. Stress can be due to financial stuff, due to separation, due to deadlines. It just really depends. But stress is defined as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances or situations. And I believe that cuts that off down there, but that's what it says. And it's something that, you never really outgrow. Stress, it may change, but stress when you're, say, 7 is definitely not going to be the same as stress in your 20s, the same as stress in your 30s, and definitely not the same as stress in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. But the evidence of stress is still there. Whether it's unmet expectations, whether it's procrastination or loss, stress is going to impact your life in some way or another as you go through life. So it's not anything you can outrun. And that's why it's so important that I want to help women understand that it's something that you have to learn how to deal with because it's going to be with you as long as you're alive. And you can't outrun it. You can't, not just block it out, but for so long. You truly have to figure out how you deal with your stress to make sure that even though when stressful situations come, you overpower them and overcome them. You move from a worrier to a warrior. That's our goal. So how do you know if you're stressed? By this list, I'm sure you can see stress causes a multitude of issues, and I've broken them down between cognitive, emotional, physical, and behavioral. And some of these may be some that you experience. Some of them you may not have ever experienced them. Like I said, stress varies between person to person, and our reaction to stress really is individual. Where some people may overeat, other people may decide that they're all of a sudden not hungry at all. And that's their stress style. It just depends on that person, the particular stressor, the situation. There's a whole lot of factors that go into that. But sometimes you may experience that you have racing thoughts, that you're more moody, that you have aches and pains in your back. You may have um, low sex drive. You may also have a bad immune system when you're stressed out and get more colds. You find that you're sick more often. You may have an upset stomach. And then also you may isolate yourself from others. You may procrastinate, and sometimes folks tend to self-medicate and use alcohol, cigarettes more, or substances to help alleviate that stress and calm them down. So generally you can have a multitude of situations, but being able to know how you stress and what your specific stress style is really going to open your eyes to when you're stressed out, and your body may be telling you're stressed out, but your mind is saying, well, I can just get through it. I'll move through it. I'm okay. Whereas your body is sending up those red flags. So now that we know that, let's get to where we're beating stress. We want to be a warrior. We're designed to be a warrior, and that's where we're going to want to go. So we're going to put stress in the background and move from being stressed to being relaxed, because that's where all the magic happens. The fun times happen when we're relaxed. So first I want to discuss your foundation. And this goes to that first point, what most women fail to do, which leads to more and more stress. So the foundation, I like to call it, is something that every house has a foundation. It's those basic things that you need that build upon. And that is your base. That is your strength. That's what houses everything and keeps everything sturdy. And in the realm of stress and healthiness, your foundation is three things. That's nutrition, that's sleep, and it's physical activity. And these are all things that we tend to take for granted, especially as moms. I know myself, I've always, been more geared toward making sure my minions have the proper nutrition. And sometimes I either eat what's quick, I don't eat enough. I find that I may have been watching them all day, so that by the end of the day I'm starving, and I've been going, that I don't even realize it until I'm famished. I know that sleep as a mom, is something that you just kind of get when you can get it, if you can get it. And hopefully you have a set partner that's supportive and helps, or a family that you have a support system that helps you get more sleep. But, sleep is definitely a foundation to being stress-free. And then lastly, physical activity. And this is one of the things I think probably the most overlooked. We often think that, I'm chasing the kids all day, so I've gotten my physical activity in. When physical activity really gives you a lot more than just, increasing your heart rate. Even something as simple as taking the time for yourself to do something physical, such as going for a walk around the neighborhood, going specifically to the gym and doing some cardio or some lifting, that does more for you than just increase your heart rate. It gives you time to yourself. It gives you time to focus on you. It gives you a arena for you to imagine and dream and just process some things. So walking around, just with your kids, unless it's at a track, is just not enough. Saying I'm running around chasing the toddlers around the living room, that's my cardio for the day. That's just not enough, because physical activities does so much more. So if you're even missing one piece of this important triangle, you are in the group that fails to establish what they need to do to decrease stress. And ultimately, even missing one piece of this is going to lead to more stress. If you're missing two, you're more increased. If you're missing three, then it's something where you really need to get on it, because these three things are a foundation to your health, to your decreased stress, to you just being happier and healthier and being able to handle what life throws at you. So our first quick stress tip: how can we cultivate a positive mindset? And I truly think people underestimate the power of a positive mindset. And there's so many books lately that have come out, and so much information that has come out lately, that has just allowed us to truly understand the power of a positive mindset. So these tips are something that I hope you can take a look at and implement in your everyday life, and it's something that you can even start today with the first one of daily affirmations to really mindset, and from there anything is possible. So we'll go through the list. So the first is daily affirmations, and these are positive things that you look upon at least once a day. I recommend 3-4 times a day at minimum. Anything more than that is just wonderful. But definitely morning, noon, and night, with each meal, just daily as often as you can. And there are some techniques that I use, to utilize your phone and add those in, whether it's saving it as your home screen, setting an alarm so that that affirmation pops up. But something as simple as "I live a stress-free lifestyle" is a daily affirmation that if you're saying it to yourself and looking at it in the morning when you get up, if it's something that you put in your lunch pail or alarm that goes off at 12 during your lunch hour and you're saying it again, if when you get home or go pick up the kids, you're saying it then, and then at night before you go to bed, if you're saying it then, you train your brain to believe it. And that's just kind of what it is. You're training your brain to think positively as opposed to negatively. I read a study about a year and a half negatively. And it's not necessarily something that sets us up to fail. It's one of those lovely little gifts that we get from when we were back in the caveman days, where we had to assess, what's the worst case scenario. Because back then, if you knew that there was a lion and you're walking on the same path as the lion, worst case scenario is, the lion's going to eat you. And you have to be prepared for that. Our brains, to protect us, thinks of the negative first, and then we game plan. So that's something that, those things still are true. We have to think about the negative, but we don't always have to. And you can train your brain to think more positively with daily affirmations. The same thing with your goals, seeing those with your affirmations and putting it all in one place at one time is really going to help you stay focused and stay on the right path. And any negative thing that comes in is going to deflect it, and you're going to go right back to that positive thinking. So the next tip is to speak positive things, because what comes out your mouth is so super important. A lot of people say that what you speak, you become; what you think, you become. So if you're adding more positive thoughts with the daily affirmations and you're speaking more positive things, you're putting it out there to God, the universe, to, your supreme power that you believe in, that this is what you want, this is what you're seeking. And usually, that is what you come back with. So you'll find that, if you speak it so, it happens. That's with negative and positive comments. So to spearhead that, if you're speaking positive things are going to come back to you. Next is to read and or listen to positive literature. You want to overload your brain with positivity. So that means reading articles that are positive, reading books that are positive. A lot of times if you're working on personal development, you can read books that are super positive, put you in a mindset that wants you to go out there and do great things. And that's what you need, listening to stuff that is positive, whether it's scriptures, whether it's, sermons, whether it's a book on tape. Putting positive stuff into your brain is going to allow you to speak positive stuff out of your mouth. So when something happens, your brain is going to learn to move to the positive. Next is spend most of your time with positive people because you are who you hang out with. Now, this is just something that goes without saying. As teenagers, I'm pretty sure your parents, like mine, told me that you are who you hang out with, and that's quite true. Who you hang out with or who you spend the most of your time with, whether it's a mom's group, whether it's your coworkers, oftentimes, excuse me, oftentimes you have something in common with them. There's a common thread there, and that kind of jump starts the relationship. But you'll also, if you spend some time listening to the conversation, you may find that what they think and how they feel on something you may feel, and that's not going to be with everything. But where that comes to play is that if they're not a positive person, they don't have a positive mindset, they may be a quote-unquote negative Nelly or negative Nancy. If that's how they are, oftentimes that's something that's going to, spread onto you. And you'll find yourself, unless you allow yourself to think positive and put positive stuff into your brain, you'll find yourself leaning to negative thinking just like negative Nelly would. So it's something to be conscious of. Next is stop negative thoughts in their tracks. As soon as you see something and you think, oh, I was wrong for doing that, stop that thought in your track and reflect on the experience or reflect on what you've learned. As soon as you, think, oh, I'm stupid for such and such, stop that thought right there and remind yourself that you're not stupid. You make good decisions by the information that you have and by the current situation you're in, but everything is a learning experience. And next is to create an effective morning routine. The way you begin and end your day are going to be the most important times for you. Because if you begin your day on a positive spin with your first hour of being awake, being all about your self-care, positive morning routine, and then you end your day with some type of gratitude routine, whether it's, audio, whether it's a journal, written, whether it's a video blog, something that appeals to you that you can consistently do, that is going to just set you up for being stress-free. So why is it that you need a morning routine? I have a few points here. But truly, I feel everybody needs a morning routine and one that really points to who you are, not just I wake up 30 minutes before and then we're rushing all morning. I can tell you that the mornings that I rush to get stuff done, I am the least effective during the day. It takes me entirely too long to try and grab myself and bring myself back to what I need to be doing, as opposed to the mornings where I sit down and I'm actually able to do a yoga routine, where I'm able to have my time in prayer, or I'm able to have my time where I meditate, or I'm able to do some self-reiki. Those days are severely different in my level of productivity, my ability to really handle what comes at me, and my ability to just handle stressful situations, whether it's someone cutting me off, whether it's, a stressful client, something of that sort. So I truly think everyone needs one, because it starts your day off on a positive tone, and it helps you combat what negative may come your way. It allows you to get me time in before the kids, your spouse, even the dogs get up, which is super epically big, and the fact that you can get your me time uninterrupted. And lastly, because you deserve it. Who doesn't deserve that specific me time? Who doesn't deserve to start their day off on a positive tone? Who doesn't deserve to start your day taking yourself and caring for yourself first, especially as mothers who care for so many other people? So it's definitely something that you need. Now, for your morning routine, here's a couple first tips and tricks for your daily me time, and then also things that you can do throughout your day, throughout your week, that will set you up for stress-free time. And some of these help prevent stress. Some of them you can use after you've had a stressful situation to kind of just bring you back down. but they're all relaxation tips. So as far as your daily me time, your daily morning routine, I encourage you to have some type of physical movement, such as yoga. It could be Pilates. You could go for a run at the end of your morning routine, depending on how much time you have. I encourage you to have prayer and meditation, and I encourage you to have journaling, whether it's a couple of words of gratitude, whether it's a full-out journal. And then the one thing I didn't put in here is reflecting upon your goals, whether it's homeschooling the kids and getting through a particular lesson plan, whether it's cleaning that needs to be done during the day, whether you're running a Fortune 500 company, that's not your home, and making sure you have those goals for that, but really looking at kind of what you want to get done during the day. Next, I would encourage you to have daily reflection. And then the way I do this is a nightly gratitude journal or gratitude list that allows me to reflect over what great things are happening in my life, whether it's the good that happened today, whether it's the good that happened this week, this month, this year. Sometimes it's just as simple as being alive, and I'm grateful. But it allows you to go to sleep. I do it at night, but it allows me to go to sleep at night on a positive note rather than worrying about what didn't get done or what needs to be done. I get to sleep easy because I'm grateful. Now, next, I would encourage you to have regular me time appointments. So this can be a regular massage appointment that you do once a week or every 2 weeks or once a month, aromatherapy that you can use at night. I tend to put some rosemary or lavender on my pillow at night to help me sleep, and utilize some aromatherapy in the shower and the bath, just to add a ease and peaceful appointment. Deep breathing is something that can go with meditation, go with prayer that you could do daily, and just mindfulness. When you're eating, when you're walking, when you're driving, being mindful and present in the moment. An example of that is if you're eating an apple, not thinking of what are you going to do next after this apple is done. How am I going to, potty train my daughter, or, how am I going to meet the next deadline, or I have to do this phone call or that email. But truly being able to be in the moment as you eat the apple, how the apple smells, what the apple looks like, what the apple sounds like as you bite into it, what the taste of the apple is. And if you're ever having trouble being in the moment, think of your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you taste? What do you smell? And that really helps you to be mindful and in the moment. Because oftentimes when you are not in the moment, we're thinking very with our cerebral, with our executive functioning part of our brain, that is more of what am I going to do? And it's not geared toward your senses. It's geared toward your planning part of your brain. So being able to ask yourself, what do I see right now? And think of colors or shapes. What do I feel right now as far as your tactile, not your emotions, but your tactile surfaces, the wind maybe. What do I hear right now? What do I smell and what do I taste? That's really going to help you be in the moment and be more mindful. So, the one thing that you can do for yourself right now, we've discussed that. That may be something as simple as daily affirmations. And the one that I would suggest you start with is, I live a stress-free life. And write that down on your mirror, write that down in a book, write it on a piece of paper and tape it to your dashboard in your car. Say it to your children and have them say it back if they're of age. That's something you can do right now. The next thing you can do right now is enroll in my Love Yourself Summer Workshop series. And this is something that gives you 4 separate workshops throughout the summer, kind of a summer camp for moms. Kids have their summer camp, so why can't you? And it's offered in 2 modalities. It's offered in person if you're in the Wake County, Raleigh area in North Carolina, and there's also a virtual track. where it offers the audio and visual hybrid, where you get something to your email that you can use as a self-study. And I'm available via email, via the telephone, with any questions. And the topics we're going through are, first one is fighting fears and getting success. The next is there is an I in relationships, going over the part that you play in your relationship, the many different roles. Next is love thyself. So loving who you are, where you are in life, and where you want to go. And then lastly, we're going to close with finding joy along the road of gratitude and why gratitude is so important, how it leads to an increase in joy. And ultimately, each of these topics is designed to decrease your stress, allow you to love yourself over the summer, and kind of catapult you into a realm of enjoying who you are, truly who you are. And that means including who you are in addition to you being a mom, a spouse, a mate, a coworker, a boss, even, loving who you are on the inside. And it allows you to connect with other mothers who are interested in really loving themselves and not forgetting themselves, but valuing and cherishing who they are. So if that's something you're interested in, we start here in July soon. That you can find more information at my website, www.latoyanelson.com, and you can click on Love Yourself Women's Workshop tab at the top of the page, and you'll find out more information and be able to enroll if you're interested in those workshop series. So I definitely encourage you to take that next step. So what's next? Are you interested in reducing the tension in your home, becoming a more zen-like mom, falling back in love with yourself, and putting yourself back on your to-do list, and even within the top 3 of your to-do list? If you're interested in doing any of those, and you found that, with this webinar you see that you want more help with decreasing your stress, I've reserved some time on my schedule to talk specifically to you, with no obligation, strictly discuss what's stressing you out and how we can get you to being stress-free, that stress-free mom that you want to be. It's just a friendly discussion about your personal concerns and help you to create a doable action plan to help you become stress-free. I truly believe that you don't have to live a life of stress. There are other options out there. And I want to give you the option to talk to me, no obligation necessary, about what you can do. And, on this conversation, you'll get a few tips as to what you can do right now, and how you can truly change your life and just have the opportunity of kind of venting and getting out what's causing you stress right now. So that's how you can move forward. And I really want you to take advantage of that, because there's no point that you have to be stress-free. And really, you having children, you're the example that you're setting for your kids. So being able to take that time and address your needs allows your children to see that, they should be doing the same thing for them. So, that's all that we have today. I hope that you found it super informative, super informational. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at latoyanelsonlpc@gmail.com. If you'd like more information on the Love Yourself Summer Series, feel free to visit my website, latoyanelson.com, and click on the Love Yourself Women's Workshop tab. And I'd love to hear from you and tell me what you thought about this webinar, and just how you feel about stress in general. You can give me a call at area code 919-410-6707, or you can shoot me an email. So thank you so much for listening to this recording. Again, I hope you found it informational. I'm so happy that you took the time to really give yourself some individual time for you. I know as a mom, I find it super hard, and I know you should find it super hard to really put yourself first. But I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be stressed and anxious all the time. And I want you to truly live a life that you deserve. So peace and blessings, and have a great day.